How I found out my boyfriend was a Kevin. So, I've been dating Jeff for 4 years. I've known him since high school though. I didn't realize he was a Kevin until this incident. This incident happened 2 years ago and we were 2 years into our relationship. We moved into an apartment and everything was just going great. No Kevin moments. Yet. Well, after work one day, I stopped by the store to get some stuff for dinner. I had gotten little sleep the night before and I had accidentally locked my keys in my car. They had fallen out of my purse, or I thought I put them in my purse. I honestly don't know how I did it. I'm surprised I got to the store. My car windows were up completely, so there was no way of someone jamming something in there to unlock it. However, I remembered I had a spare key at the apartment, so I called Jeff to stop by the apartment on his way home from work and bring me the spare key for my car to unlock it. He was about to get off anyways, and by the time I was done shopping, he would be off work and almost at the apartment. Me. Hey, I accidentally locked myself out of the car. Can you bring me my spare key? Jeff. How did you even do that? Me. I honestly don't remember. Something involving my purse. Can you bring me my car key, please? I'll get you Pop-Tarts. Jeff. Just unlock your car. Me. I can't. My keys are locked in the car. Jeff. No, you can unlock it. Just stick your hand through the window and unlock it. Me. No, I can't. My window is up. Jeff. Go get a clothes hanger. Me. I can't. My window is completely up. There is absolutely no way I can get anything through my window. Jeff. Yes, you can. Just stick your hand through the window and unlock it. I honestly couldn't believe I was actually having this conversation. Me. Listen to me very carefully. My window is completely rolled up, meaning there is no way for me to put my hand through the window and unlock it. There is no way to put a coat hanger through the window because all the windows are completely rolled up. Jeff. Well, I don't know what you want me to do about it. Me. Bring me my spare car key. Jeff. Why? I honestly thought he was messing with me, but he really sounded aggravated and like I wasn't understanding him at all. Me. I will tell you later. Please bring me my spare car key from the apartment, please. Jeff. Okay, fine. I don't see why you need it. I hung up because, duh. I go inside and get my shopping done. I see his car pull into the store's parking lot and I head outside to meet him. He hands me my spare key. Me. Come here, Jeff. Jeff. Oh, am I going to get a kiss? No. Me. Look into my car, Jeff. Jeff looks into my car. Do you see my keys in there, Jeff? Yes. Me. Try to get them out, Jeff. Jeff tries to open my door. It is locked. Jeff. I can't. It's locked. Me. Try to get them out without my spare key. Jeff then proceeds to look for a window cracking. There is none. Jeff. I can't. There isn't any way to stick my hand or anything in there to unlock. At this point, I am staring at Jeff. He doesn't understand why I am staring at him. I handed him my keys and told me to show me how to get the car keys out now. He then unlocked the door, rolled down my window, locked the car, shut the door, and then reached his arm through the open window and unlocked it. Jeff. See, like that. Unlock it like that. At this point, I had such a massive headache from him not understanding why it was literally impossible for me to do any of that. I just put the groceries into my car. I got into my car and I drove home. That night at home, he asked if I was mad at him. Me. I wouldn't say mad, more like frustrated, annoyed, tired, baffled. Jeff. Well, I can understand, especially if you couldn't simply unlock your door like how I showed you today. I went and got high after that. 2 weeks later, we decided to go to the downtown area for our date night. Before heading downtown, we had to get gas. I was waiting in his car when he rolled down his window and unlocked it from the outside by sticking his arm through the open window. Jeff. See? Like that. Next time your keys are locked in your car, unlock it like that. I really thought about just getting out of the car and beating him with my bag of candy he bought me from the gas station, but I don't believe he would understand why I was beating him. He later brought it up to my mom at dinner, and she also tried to explain to him why his idea wouldn't work at all, because he was determined to make sense of it, when he couldn't because the fucking window was rolled up. That was 2 years ago. I'm still very much dating him to the point we are engaged now. I love him deeply, he's a good man. He just happens to be a Kevin though. Kevin doesn't understand how caffeine works. This story is about my partner being a Kevin. Kevin, as intelligent and educated as he is absolutely clueless about things related to science. When we were first dating, we had a fairly long day and decided to end it with a movie. Since we had been out all day, we decided some coffee before the movie. Kevin liked drinking coffee, but he always bought pre-made Starbucks Frappuccino bottled drinks. I'm not into them, mostly because of the large amount of sugar in them. This is important. So, as we were making up our minds at what to get, he says he wants a Frappuccino, but one that will keep him up for a while. Okay, coffee frap with an extra shot makes sense. Got to get that extra caffeine, am I right? We get to the register and my partner orders a strawberry and cream Frappuccino. Me, you know that doesn't have caffeine in it, right? Kevin, yes it does, doesn't it? It's higher in sugar, so it will keep me awake more. The higher the sugar amount, the more caffeine, hence the more energy. Me, that's not how any of that works. Kevin, haven't you heard of a sugar rush? That's what happens when sugar turns into caffeine and keeps you awake. Me, that's literally impossible. Kevin, no it's not. Sugar is carbs and aren't carbs energy? You should know this. Me, literally not how it works. Sugar rushes are a myth. Kevin, what do you mean? Me, they don't exist. It's not the sugar in coffee but the caffeine that prevents drowsiness. All that sugar isn't going to give you more energy. Kevin, but my mom always told me sugar was better than caffeine. Proof that sugar rushes don't exist. Me, just get a mocha frappe. When he got the mocha frappe, he tried to argue that he always got sugar rushes after his morning coffee. Those Starbucks Frappuccino bottle drinks, remember? I ended up pulling out a few articles about the myth of the sugar rush, and he got the biggest dare in the headlights look ever. He apparently was raised to believe caffeine was just sugar and that sugar rushes would prevent you from going to sleep. This leads to him drinking and eating a lot of sugary drinks and snacks looking to get a quick energy fix. A lot of sugary drinks and candy bars were consumed in his undergraduate days, thinking it would help him. After a few articles and lots of explanations about caffeine versus carbohydrates, he seemed to understand. 4 years later. 3 days ago, Kevin asked me to buy a candy bar and a Starbucks Frappuccino to help him stay up to work on schoolwork. Cue another 30 minutes lecture on the myth of the sugar rush. He still thinks that candy bars and sugary drinks are better for getting quick energy than coffee, but now he thinks it's because carbs is energy and caffeine is carbohydrates, albeit not as sugar, because that's what I told him previously. At this rate, he will hopefully understand how caffeine works in 12 years. Kevin and the radio. I work on the railroad. Throughout the railroad, there are a lot of Kevins I have to deal with on a daily basis. The worst of them so far has to be my boss, Kevin. Former boss. He has been booted from my current location and is now in and out of the way area that takes 90 minutes to get to on a good day. That hasn't stopped him from throwing one more nightmare for me. I am required by railroad law to have a radio on my person whenever I'm on duty. Not having one is a very bad thing and is punishable by suspension. I thankfully procured one within my first year. They told us when we started that radios were hard to come by for BS reasons. What I wasn't told, however, was the radio I was given is a very, very old radio. Think radios that were considered new in the late 80s. Yes, that old. Learning this after the fact made it more sense to me why mine suddenly stopped working after just 9 months. I have 8 years experience working on the railroad, and the first radio was replaced with another one just as old as the first one. The individual who issued me the second radio told me it was recently repaired and should work fine for a while. Translation: 5 years. Fast forward to last November when the radio died again. Kevin, my boss, was stationed at my post, and giving him the radio quickly turned into my biggest and longest fight ever. Every other week I would be hounding this asshole, asking over and over again if he got my radio taken care of. Each time he would give me a different excuse he pulled out of his ass. For 6 months this kept going. Yes, even when the pandemic hit, he was still going to try to deal with the radio. I had switched shifts where I didn't need to see him as often, but that was not much better. As when I was fighting with Kevin about a radio he should have taken care of within a week, I was also fighting with other supervisors when they would ask me where my radio was. Every time they were ready to suspend me until I told him who had it. I got very used to the familiar annoyed sigh by nearly every higher up in management. All of this came to a head last month. First week into September, after Labor Day, I had just returned to work after being out for 3 weeks, not because management took me out, but because I injured my back pretty badly at work. I'm okay now for anyone who was going to ask. My first day back, I get to work and immediately get sent to my supervisor's office. Inside that office was Kevin, but also the CEO of the company. I've never met this man, and the first thing I find myself thinking is, what the heck did I do to warrant CEO to be there? The following conversation ensued: Kevin, OP, and CEO. CEO: good morning, OP. Sit down. We have much to discuss. Kevin: make this quick. I have a... CEO: be quiet, Kevin. You have a lot of explaining to do. OP: is this going to take long? I have a train to get very soon. CEO: you'll be in and out quickly, I promise. Why have you been without a radio since November? Me: I point to Kevin. You should be asking him that. I've been haunting him for months about the damn thing, and all I get is excuses. Kevin: don't make up lies, OP. You know full well I'm too busy. Me: I'm not starting this BS with you again. Kevin: don't you dare talk to your boss like that. CEO: on the contrary, Kevin, you are a dumbass with no sense of urgency. Let him speak. I proceeded to explain for the 1000th time why I have been without a radio for months on end and why Kevin refused to take care of it. When the CEO asked him to explain himself, he started to come up with a reason. Then he drops this bombshell. Kevin: why are you whining like a child about this anyway? It's not like you do your job in the first place. I was pissed. I was ready to start screaming at Kevin about my work ethics, but the CEO saw my rage and asked me to step outside. What followed was about 15 minutes of screaming before the CEO poked his head out and told me to get to my train. We will finish this later. 6 hours later, I returned from my run to find Kevin's car gone and his office locked. I find a note from the CEO addressed to me with his number. I called him and was basically told the CEO took my radio from Kevin and told him to go home at once. He is going to take care of the radio himself and will get back to me by the end of the week with a result. Yes, the shop was open during the pandemic, so there wasn't a delay. He also told me not to worry about Kevin's remark about my work ethic. 3 days later, the CEO called me and told me the radio was unfixable, so as an apology for dealing with Kevin's stupidity, I got a brand new radio. Kevin was moved to a position that takes him 2 hours to get to and from work, and was told by CEO if he doesn't get his act together, he won't have a job anymore. I no longer care. I have a new radio and I don't have to worry about Kevin anymore.